Cheers, VC. It's your buddy Eric Weinbender here, continuing the Blue Note 4000 series project in the vinyl community here. I should say I'm both continuing it and filling it in, going in backwards. Today I was very fortunate to find one of the blanks within this project, and the gin martini of the night is very appropriate. Because if you can't tell by the simple title of this video that you're watching, Bottoms Up is what we're doing here. Today, I was lucky enough to find a super clean copy of this album. I went to a local place. I absolutely adore the owner in both the place. Cabin Floor Records, Joe being the owner. And I slipped their jazz. I was like, you know what, let me see what they have for the Tone Poet and the 80th anniversary series. A fan of those presents. And then I just went to flip and use, because those, to be frank, those 80th anniversary and those Tone Poet series, they're going to be around. I'm not racing to get them, but there's several of them I'm keen on, and I will acquire. Highest recommendation I can give is Donald Byrd's Ethiopian Nights. That's the first one I got. Anyways, that being aside, I stumbled this album because I was looking for what I believe is the follow-up of this album, which is LD+3, which is Lou Donaldson with, if you can't tell here, the Three Sounds is what I'm featuring. And I want to say this is their fourth album overall, and their first album of a Blue Note exclusive after a one-time Riverside one-off, if I'm not mistaken. And they did a dozen albums or so before they jumped around between Mercury and Verve and Limelight. I want to say Limelight is the one other Three Sounds album I have currently in my collection. So this will be my only Three Sounds as of right now. Three Sounds contribution to this series. Anyways, let's just get into the music here, because I can get sidetracked and bamble about and force in unnecessary conversation. I've been known for that. Anyone who watches my non-jazz ramblings. So this kind of gets bashed on, all right? And what I mean by that is they're kind of dismissed as a kind of lounge act and not innovative, or they don't push things forward or reinvent jazz. Well, who does? I mean, a lot of people are just players. That's okay. If everyone that played rock and roll, if you enjoy that, isn't some virtuoso or a guy like Jimi Hendrix who changes the way we view the guitar, or everyone doesn't have to be Eddie Van Halen. In that regards, this band is kind of considered at times to be like lounge music. If that's the case, sign me up for that lounge, because they're chill and they don't have a whole lot of writing credits of their own. They did a lot of standards and other people's music, but not a whole lot is theirs as far as a writing credit. And I want to say what writing credits they do have is contributed to Gene Harris, the pianist. And if I'm being honest, this album, I want to say the shining highlights of this album are predominantly Gene Harris on piano. He works well off of the end of the A side with Andrew Simpkins on bass, and then Bill Dowdy on drums is just kind of keeping it all together, but not really being showcased. Although on the B side, I want to say there's some percussion work that's quality. Anyways, getting sidetracked. Neither here nor there. It's 1959. I want to say this was recorded February 11th, 1959. Maybe I'll put in a snippet if I'm wrong about that date. I think this was released in like 1960. If the opening track is Besame Mucho, so there's a little bit of Latin jazz on this. Bop-ish era. It's a transition in music. They started off, they're one of the last of the 1500 series and one of the first of the 4000 series. So they had this whole transition, and they kept on dropping albums all the way into the early 70s. I want to say after they had that whole run of Verve and Mercury and Limelight, if I'm not mistaken, then they finished off with another half dozen or so albums on Blue Note before disbanding. Well, let's talk about both the A side and B side and Strong. I really dig that. Love Walked In is Gershwin is credited composer on that, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe both Gershwins. And then I Could Write a Book jumps off the B side. I prefer non-vocal jazz. Personally, I don't like or some of these jazz standards that are kind of like schmaltzy, really loungy, kind of yucking it up, cornball-y. If I'm being frank. Speaking of Frank, I think Frank Sinatra did it. Dean Martin did it. Ella Fitzgerald did it, and a lot of people are going to know it from I guess what I think about it in a negative context. Not to bash on this person while I'm trying to speak positive on that. But Harry Connick Jr., a lot of people are going to know that from When Harry Met Sally, if I'm not mistaken, was a big deal on that soundtrack. But, so, a standard's on here. And once again, I don't think there's a single writing credit to the band, but they didn't have to reinvent anything. They were a three piece that stuck together, and they played well together. I'm sure they would have been exceptional to see live back in the day. And I might not get that deep into the music, but when I was looking for that LD+3, I stumbled to this. I was like, man, I'm pretty sure that's a gap in the vinyl community. And the cool thing is, everything's on the internet now. I pulled up my phone and I was like, oh wow, I can be a contributor for someone that's not as well versed in jazz as a lot of people that participate in this series. It's crazy clean and inexpensive, so it was fairly much a no-brainer. Reed Miles, iconic cover. If you can't tell, maybe not iconic cover, but iconic styling. In the same vein as all the other Reed Miles. Photo by Francis Wolff, recording Rudy Van Gelder. So more of the same of what you would expect from this Blue Note series. I don't really have anything else to say other than, man, paint me an idiot. The one time I ever deleted a video by accident was my first and until now my only entry in this Blue Note series, and I didn't get to respond to multiple friends before I accidentally deleted that upload and then re-uploaded it. So if you left a comment before, leave a comment here. I apologize. I comment to every single person that's ever commented on any of my videos. It might not be prompt, but I do like to engage with friends. So cheers to you, friends, or should I say, bottoms up. Best to you. Take care. God bless, and all that jazz.